What is going on, my lovely ladies and gentlemen of the world? I don't know how many of you remember this, but I used to make it a point, because I live in California, so that whenever it rained, I would sit down and do a Nate Talks, because it's California, and it doesn't rain here anymore. But it's raining now, and it made me remember that I did have some stuff I wanted to talk about. Now, number one, I do want to somewhat apologize for the lack of videos that have been coming in lately. I mean, the main problem is just that, like, none of the replay theaters are really possible at the moment. Like, Blaze Blue is literally impossible to do a replay theater of at the moment. Guilty Gear's replay system, in order to download replays and actually know whether or not I've seen them, all that good stuff, like, it's really prohibitive to actually doing consistently. And it's just irritating. They don't have a good replay system. I wish that they would fix that they would make it better, that they would improve it. And hopefully, now that I'm actually saying this and thinking about it, I haven't thought about it before, but because it is Team Red working on Dragon Ball FighterZ, I hope they don't carry Guilty Gear's system into Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they have one of the other systems which actually has a page specifically for recently uploaded replays, so that I can just scroll through that. Rather than, because Guilty, if you don't know how it works, Blaze Blue and Under Night and Birth both have a replay system where it's literally just a page of recently uploaded replays. And with Guilty Gear, they don't have that. They only have player profiles that you have to go to, and then you can search that player profile to see if they have a replay available. But there's no guarantee that it's recent. There's no guarantee that it's even good. I mean, like, it's just, you don't really get that much information about it. And so it's really difficult to actually organize them and sort them. And on top of that, it's just really irritating to actually go into the menus and scroll through it all to find replays to actually download and play based on, you know, what you're looking for. It's just, it's not good. And it's perfectly fine, because I've done replay theaters for Guilty Gear previously, and they were always tailored to a specific character, because that was back when I was thinking that I was going to go through every single character, and then I tried to play Leo, and then I tried to play Jacko, and all my interest to play Guilty Gear just washed away after that. But doing it that way is perfectly fine. But then, like, if I wanted to go back through again, and, you know, I wanted to get a couple Soul replays, a couple Kai replays, a couple Leo replays, you know, these replays that I've already seen before, I don't know if I've actually seen them before. I have no way to know that. So it's just not a good system for them to have created. And then it's really hard to actually organize them properly as well. It's not hard. It's impossible to differentiate whether or not I have watched this replay before or not inside of the actual replay system itself that you go to after you have downloaded replay. So Guilty Gear just doesn't have a good replay system. And Under Night and Birth is just... that's going to actually be one of the talking points. It's not doing too well in terms of overall activity, and let me tell you, whoever is publishing this game in the West, I don't know who it is. I don't know if Axis is getting that responsibility, or if Arc System Works is going to be doing that themselves, because Arc System Works has now opened up an office in California, and I think that basically means they're going to be trying to do local publishing stuff themselves. So I don't know if Arc System Works is going to be the one that publishes that. And that was actually kind of one of the things that I thought about. Well, I'll talk about that when I get there. And then the other thing is, I've just been playing games that I know nobody will watch anyway if I upload videos of them. So it's just kind of, you know, just how life is. But anyway, so the two things that I wanted to talk about were the Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, how it's continuing to worry me, because a bunch of people, a lot of you guys were like, I bet you're hype, right? They announced Azrael, you got Gordeau in there, you have another Scythe user in Ruby, you're sitting pretty right now, right? No, I'm not. So I wanted to talk about Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, and I also wanted to talk about Under Night and Birth. And since I mentioned Under Night and Birth already, I'll just hop straight into that one. Basically, for those of you that are unaware, it has been finally announced after so long, because the only information we were all operating off of for an actual localization release of Under Night and Birth was winter 2017. It's going to be out by the end of 2017, right? Like, that's all we knew, that's all we were told. And so, you know, it's getting further and further through November, and we haven't heard any word whatsoever of a release date, and it's kind of getting to that point where it's like, if it was actually going to come out in 2017, I'm pretty sure we should have heard something by now. And sure enough, it's not coming out in 2017. They have announced the release date. You know, I actually have not seen anything official for North America. I have seen the information from P-Cube, which is the European publisher, and they have announced that February 9th, 2018 is their release date, and they have a special edition and everything. I have not seen anything official for North America. I just see, you know, yeah, it's coming out in North America and Europe on February 9th, 2018. But I've only seen that from news websites. I have not seen any official listings on, like, I've looked at a few different places. I haven't looked everywhere, but I've looked, you know, at various places that I could look at. I haven't seen any actual source confirming that it's coming out in North America. I have only seen the actual European listings. So that's actually kind of somewhat concerning me. Like, let me actually check this out. Let me go, is twitter.com/Axis Games maybe? Is it just Axis? I don't actually know. No, it does look like Axis Games. So let me just see if they have anything in here on their... I mean, I assume if they're going to announce something, it's going to be on their Twitter. Oh, yeah, there you go. Okay, so that is... Axis is indeed publishing it themselves. It is going to be coming out on February 9th in North America. So that's all I needed to know. I can't believe that nothing... Like, everywhere... like I mentioned, every single source that I saw that was talking about it referenced the P-Cube listing. Never showed anything about North America. But now that I've actually seen the actual tweet from Axis, so yeah, it's going to be coming out on February 9th. I hope we get an actual, like, limited edition, collector's edition, whatever, version of the game. Because I didn't look too closely, but P-Cube's version of it actually looked pretty cool. I think it came with an art book, a sound. Like, that's all I care about. If you're going to throw a collector's edition at me, if you want me to buy it, put in an art book, put in a soundtrack, I'm on that shit. I don't care about I don't care about the rest. I especially don't care about the rest. Actually, no, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to mention it. Thou shalt not be named. Now I just, said it. Now you know what I'm probably talking about. We move forward. So yeah, they've announced that the release date is February 9th. It took me, 5 minutes to just confirm that one specific sentence. I'm great at this whole talking thing. If you ever want somebody to say a sentence, say something that could be said in a sentence in a drawn out 5-minute long 200-word essay, I got you, man. Anyway, so it's coming out February 9th, 2018. Now, for those of you that may not have made the connection, which I don't know why you wouldn't have, Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming out 2 weeks before that. I believe Dragon Ball FighterZ is January 26th. It's like the 26th, the 27th, something like that. I believe it's the 26th, but I'm not 100% certain on that. 2 weeks prior to the release of this fighting game is the most anticipated fighting game release in recent memory, probably since Tekken 7. Like, I don't know of anything else that has reached the hype levels that Dragon Ball FighterZ has reached in the overall fighting game community. And now you have this game, which is a fantastic game, and French Bread did a wonderful job. I have said this when I first got into it, and I still firmly believe it, that it is the single most improved version-to-version upgrade that I have ever seen in regard to what was present in the previous version and what's present in the current version. They blew it up. They did a fantastic job. I cannot compliment their work, their effort enough on what they did, and it is going to be completely ignored because nobody's going to care about fighting games aside from Dragon Ball FighterZ for like 2 months after the release of it. They just completely, they didn't just, the common term is that, they shot themselves in the foot. They didn't do that. They straight up Persona 3'd themselves, except they forgot that their weapons were loaded with real bullets, and it's just gone. It's over. It's done. They're going to sell like 2 copies. One of them's going to be to me, and that's it. It's dead on arrival. There's no other way this goes down. And the worst part about it, too, is the fact that there are no major fighting game releases. Not that UNIST would really qualify as a major fighting game release in and of itself, but it's like, it's the middle ground, right? Like, it has people talking about it, it has people excited about it, it has fans, and so you just get that word of mouth going, and somebody's like, I really want to try out a new fighting game. I got some money in my pocket thanks to the holidays. I got, people that are asking me what I want for Christmas, whatever. Let me look, what fighting games can I get? There hasn't been a big fighting game release in ages now. What can I look at? Okay, what's this Under Night and Birth thing? It's got a lot of positive, word of mouth flowing about it. We got a lot, let me look up some more information about it. All right, this looks cool. This looks interesting. I like the characters. I'm a Phonon fan. All right. Either way, they would have sold copies just based on the fact that it is the only fighting game that would have been released around the holidays. Now all we have is Arcana Heart 3. Like, that's it. That's the only fighting game that's coming out over the holidays. That's the only fighting game that's coming out until Dragon Ball FighterZ. And they completely blew it. That would have been a huge marker just to say, like, hey, check us out. We're a new fighting game. It's the holidays. Again, you got some additional money floating around in your pocket. You're looking for a fighting game to tide you over until Dragon Ball FighterZ comes out. Come check me out. This game is godlike, right? Now you can't do that. Now everybody's just going to be too busy trying to figure out Dragon Ball FighterZ, trying to learn it, trying to improve, trying to be the best, trying to get those millions of YouTube views. The people that are absolutely adamant about ensuring they have day -2 content in order to get the most amount of views. They don't care if it's good or not. They just got to get it out in time, right? As all that matters is going to be Dragon Ball FighterZ, and Under Night and Birth is going to be completely and utterly ignored solely because they were so goddamn stupid as to decide to release it February 9th. I just don't get, like, at this point, it would be better off for them to just delay it an additional month. It would actually be better for the game to just delay it even further. And that's a real bummer. And so, I can't think of any good reason for it. Like, one of the reasons that I thought, and that I was going to mention earlier, of why this may be occurring is because Arc System Works published it in Japan. Arc System Works wanted to publish it themselves in North America. Thus, they were waiting until they had their office open, until they had the resources available, the connections available to distribute it across North America. That's out the window now that I know Axis is handling it, right? So the only other thing that I can think of that would require such a huge time gap between the two is that there's going to be an English voiceover. There's going to be an English dub beyond just the regular localization of all the text and stuff. And that kind of makes sense to me because of the fact that BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is coming out. Right? And it's just right now, and everybody's mentioned it, how weird it is to hear these Ruby characters speaking in English and every other character in the cast is speaking Japanese. And it kind of makes sense because they have so many resources to draw from for English voiceovers for Persona 4 Arena and for BlazBlue, but they just don't have them for Under Night and Birth. And so that was always the big kind of question to me, and the thing that was kind of like, it's probably going to stay this way, where it's only the Ruby character speaking English, and everybody else is going to stay Japanese, because they would have to go in and do an entire voiceover track for all of their Under Night and Birth characters, because those have never been, there's never been an English voiceover for this game. But if they can kind of offload a portion of the cost to the official Under Night and Birth release, and then essentially just license those files for cross-tag battle, they're good to go, right? Like, that, so it kind of sort of makes sense to me, and I cannot think of any other possible reason that this would go as slowly as it goes, because they do have they have far more to localize than they did before, because they have the entire story mode, they have the entirety of the tutorial mode to go through and translate. And so that was also kind of another thing that was floating around in the back of my head, is that if some of you aren't aware, NIS America got in a boatload of trouble because they basically just machine translated Ys 8. And it very well, it showed. And there were a lot of typos as well, and it got worse. And like, the further you got in the game, the worse it got, the more noticeable it got, because it was very clear that like somebody along the way just stopped caring and stopped doing their job properly, and it was very blatantly bad. There was really no excuse for it. Even I noticed it, and I was kind of at that point barely paying attention to the story, because it's an okay story, but it's nothing unusual, it's nothing fantastic. I was mostly there for the gameplay. But still, it was very blatant how bad it was. And so that was kind of another thing that popped up around like 2 months ago, whenever UNIST came out. It only took like a week before all the complaints started flooding in. And so that was also kind of another thing, is like, maybe somebody responsible for the localization was being a bit lazy, and this whole thing just blew up, right? And they saw that and they're like, maybe we should go through this a bit more carefully, and now it's going to take us more time, right? Like, that's the only other thing that I could imagine why it would take this long. The other option, now that I'm actually truly thinking about it, I'm sitting down and pondering the potential reasons. It's coming out on the Vita? Really? I just glanced back over at my computer and I saw that it says PS4, PS3, and Vita. Who would ever buy a fighting game on the Vita? I think I've mentioned that before, and some people did say they bought like a BlazBlue game on it. I believe actually Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 was on the Vita, and even had a hitbox/hurtbox viewer, which is godlike, and all games should have that. Maybe that's what they're doing. They're implementing in-game frame data and in-game hitbox/hurtbox viewer, the kinds of shit every fighting game should have. Let's go! They're not doing that. But oh god, sorry. The other thing that I was thinking about, maybe they're rebalancing. Maybe they're going to introduce another character or two, console exclusive characters. They did that. Well, no, they've already done that. I was just going to say, they did that with Under Night and Birth EXE Late. You had Chaos and you had Nanase. I want to say there was another one, but I had Chaos and Nanase are the only two that I'm fully aware of. And then I just realized you already have console exclusive characters. You had Enkidu and Wagner added to the cast for the Japanese release, and they're not going to add something brand new just for the English release. But did they have a rebalancing? They didn't. I got nothing. That's what I was kind of thinking about, was, maybe they're going to add another character or two. Maybe they're going to rebalance it, and they'll make Enkidu actually good. But that's improbable. It could happen. It's certainly a potential cause of why it would take additional time, but unlikely. I don't know. I mean, everything that I can think of, that I can dream up for the cause for this, is just as unlikely as the next. There's nothing that really stands out that screams like, this is the obvious reason why it has taken months upon months upon months just to translate some text. Right? I don't know. It's very weird. Anyway, let's move on from that. So, BlazBlue cross-tag battle. Like I said, they recently announced, who was it in those trailers that they had? Azrael, and they had somebody else. Was it Yukiko? Azrael? Who was it? Oh god, this is terrible. Oh god, I'm hoping I can scroll down and just find it somewhere. How long ago was that? It's been about 7 days, right? Since that trailer was released? Oh god, please. Please show me. Somewhere in this land. No, not Dragon's Crown. No, that's Atlas. I'm stupid. Shit. This is terrible. I should have had this information ready to go, on hand, 3 weeks ago. That's way too long at this point. It's not showing me all the videos that are supposed to be here. Oh, no. Let's see. Let me just do... No, not BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma. God damn it! Let's go with the entire title. Cross tag battle. It was Yukiko and Gordeau and Azrael. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking Gordeau and Azrael, but for some reason in my head I was like, no, they announced Gordeau before they announced Azrael. So who was the? I was trying to think of who the UNIST character was, and it was Gordeau this entire time. Oh, damn it! I'm dumb. I need Akihiko. That's who I need. Azrael is nothing but a disappointment. Nothing but a massive disappointment in regard to what he looks like, what he seems to play like. He's not Azrael. He doesn't have the upper/lower weak point system. If he has a run, which as far as we're aware so far, every character in the game has to have a run because there's no normal forward movement, right? Like there's no walking. Everybody just runs forward. That's it. There's no dashing, there's no forward and you move faster than otherwise. If you hold forward, you run. There's no walking involved. And so I didn't see in the trailer what Azrael's version of that is going to be. The only thing that makes sense is that he will somehow do the Valiant Charger animation regardless. Well, obviously he won't even have Valiant Charger anymore because he has no weak point system. So that's the only thing that came across my mind, which means he will not have a cross-up dash anymore. He's just... And the constant disappointment that just exists across all of Cross Tag Battle for me is the complete lack of normals. And so every single character basically has like a third to maybe a half of their overall moveset available to them. So yeah, like it's not Azrael. So he doesn't matter to me. He doesn't look enjoyable to me because everything that is enjoyable about Azrael is not present in Cross Tag Battle's version of Azrael. So yeah, I mean, if you can't tell from my words already, I'm already very, very down about Cross Tag Battle. I don't think it could get any more negative than where I'm at right now, because right now it's purely just, I don't care about this game. I'm willing to try it out, to give it a chance, but I'm not buying it, right? Like, there's no, with many other fighting games, I just know, right? Like, I'm either buying this or I am not. There's very rarely a middle ground. And so like Tekken 7 was the most recent one where I was like, yes, I'm absolutely buying this. And I did. And unfortunately, other things happened. But the game itself, I still firmly believe the game itself is one of the best fighting games around right now. And if you want to get into a 3D fighting game, you really don't have much of a choice otherwise. It's just, you have Tekken 7 or you have Dead or Alive. And Dead or Alive's got a lot of other issues going along with it. So it's basically just Tekken. Alright, and Dragon Ball FighterZ coming up is just, I haven't really paid much attention to it. I don't really know much about all the various gameplay systems. I certainly couldn't talk about it at length because I know I'm going to buy it, right? And so I'm going to buy it, I'm going to get it, I'm going to play it. Let me figure all this stuff out on my own. That's part of the enjoyment of getting a new game, is figuring all this stuff out on your own. And then once you feel like you kind of hit a point where you're struggling a little bit to continue moving forward and continue improving, that's when I start looking for outside information. But yeah, with Cross Tag Battle, it's just, I am looking at everything that comes out, because as of yet, I have not seen a single positive thing about it. There has been nothing about the game that has come out, whether it's information, videos, whatever. Nothing has come out that has made me think positively about the game. Everything I have seen about it has just further and further been digging its grave, and by now there's enough room for the entire casts of every game that is involved, along with the Guilty Gear cast, if you want to just throw them in there for shits and giggles. It's not looking good to me. It just really is not. And so, you know, when they come out with one of the characters that is one of the two characters that I've ever actually spent any time putting real effort into and actually getting good at, and he looks like shit, ooh, that's a rough patch, man. That really isn't helping out. So yeah, I mean, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle just continues to look worse and worse to me as time goes on, and that's just not good, because obviously the first impression, you have to understand, if you're looking at, with this day and age, your first impression of any game is coming out years before the game's actual release, which I think is a really bad thing, that they show off games, they announce games so incredibly early. Like, they're basically just like, just out of the boardroom discussing whether or not they want to make this game, and then they confirm they want to make the game, and they walk out and they announce it immediately, right? Like, that's just a bad idea. Anyway, so it's just, you know, when you're looking at it, you're looking at a very bare bones version of the game that is going to hopefully improve as time goes along. And I haven't seen that improvement. I have just seen the same exact base that we were shown upon initial announcement. Nothing new, nothing exciting, nothing. I shouldn't say nothing exciting because that is subjective, but there's been nothing new added to the system, right? Like, everything that we saw, everything that we were told from the very beginning has persisted and has not been expanded. There's been no depth added. It's still exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is that we're getting more characters. And so, when my entire problem with the game is the fundamental system and how bastardized and basic it is in comparison to where it came from, and there's been nothing to change that, I'm shit out of luck. There's nothing's going to change my mind until that itself changes. And right now, it just doesn't look like Arc System Works cares. And that's going to be a really bad thing, I feel, in the long run. Because there's just, I don't know. To me, as it stands, there just doesn't seem to be any depth in the game whatsoever. And, we'll see where that goes. But every single time I've kind of had that thought, it's wound up being true. And hopefully Arc System Works can pull a magic rabbit out of their hat to fix everything and change everything, or maybe just prove me wrong. I don't know. But if that doesn't happen, I truly hope Dragon Ball FighterZ is going to be as good as I hope it is, because that's going to be my only fighting game for a while. That's for damn sure. So, yeah. It's enough of that. It's all been negativity. Is there anything positive I can say? No. There's nothing positive I can say. Nothing. My asshole stream got me into playing Potemkin. Those motherfuckers. And I can't say anything positive about that. You guys suck. Why would you do this to me? Oh, I gotta learn how to play a charged character. And it's the worst, too, because he's not a charged character, but his one single charge move is the most important goddamn move in his entire arsenal. Ah! It's the same thing I said back in Exard. Nothing's changed, and I'm back here again, just running in circles. It never ends. I should just get into ARMS. I did just buy a Switch. I could get into ARMS, become a competitive ARMS player. Go to Japan, win EVO Japan, get massive sponsorships, get sponsored by Nintendo itself. I'll be featured in the next Mario game. They'll have me shirtless this time instead of Mario. There you go. Bet everybody wants to see that. I can design my own Zelda game that doesn't suck. I shouldn't say that. A lot of people really like Breath of the Wild, but God, I have seen nothing good about it. Move past that, Nate. Don't mention it. These are beloved franchises that people, no matter how bad they get, people are gonna love them. I'm just sitting here trying to think of is there anything positive that I can say in regard to fighting games? And right now there isn't. Tekken 7 is putting a Final Fantasy character in the game, the worst Final Fantasy that's ever been released, and they're putting a character from it in the game. They had a sponsorship from Cup of Noodles. From Cup Noodles, man. Get a real sponsor. Get a sponsor that isn't just a joke for your major tournament where the entire world is tuning in to check you out, see what your game is about. And you're sponsored by Cup goddamn Noodles. Oh. Arcana Heart 3 Steam port's going to be coming out soon, so I don't know. I've never played an Arcana Heart before. I don't know what I'm looking into. I do know that 90% of the characters' designs are probably going to be... what's the best way I can say this? Unappealing. 90% might actually be generous. I might want to go with 97. There might be 2 characters in the entire cast I don't just look at and be like, God, just kill me. Are you serious with this? Oh, that was actually... I just recently watched... Fate Apocrypha, which I did enjoy, actually. It's my favorite version of Saber, the main Saber. Previously it's always been Artoria. Nero, is it Nero Claudius, whatever, in the Fate Extella series. Actually my favorite Saber, because she isn't just some, goody two-shoes, straight-laced, boring... nothing. I'm honorable, yay, that's all there is to my character. There's actually some flaw there. There's actually some emotion there. I dig it. I like it. What I don't like, and this is it's because Arcana Heart reminded me of it, is their portrayal of Jack the Ripper. I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to talk about it, but you can just look at it and you'll understand why it doesn't help too. It isn't just some random thing. Jack the Ripper could very well have been, the kind of character archetype that I really, really enjoy. The borderline, psychotic, just sadistic style of violent. I don't know why that appeals to me. I don't have any insight into why that kind of character appeals to me. But, the characters that just get up close and dirty, they just enjoy... it's Azrael, right? That's kind of the best way I can say it. They just enjoy I mean, that's obviously not really Jack the Ripper, just enjoying the fight for the fight. But I mean, that just makes it worse. That just stabs the knife in and twists it even further, knowing that Jack the Ripper very well could have been like my favorite character in the cast, and instead I get that. Achilles also. I mean, he just looks and acts like a hipster, basically. That's the best way I can describe him. He doesn't have a lot of screen time, but still, he just looks like a hipster. Astolfo, which apparently, like, half of my Discord is in love with, I think is just annoying, and I wish they didn't exist. And Astolfo's master, who I don't actually know the name of. Oh my god. Yiga de Millennia. Dumbest name I've ever heard in my life. Yiga de Millennia? Come on, son. But yeah, Astolfo's master. First time I saw her, I was like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Hello, lady. She winds up being nuts. Absolutely bonkers. So that one hurt. What else? Is there anything else? No. I mean, that's the other thing, is that it's only half the season so far. Because there's, like, I think it said 23 planned episodes, maybe 25. And so far on Netflix, there's only the first 12. So we gotta wait. Just ends on a cliffhanger, of course. Same thing happened with Unlimited Blade Works. Can people just go through, like, Game of Thrones? Could you imagine the entire world just grinding to a halt because Game of Thrones released seasons? Did they go through 8 or 9? I actually haven't seen the last season yet. I'm only caught up to, like, season 7. But yeah, like, if they had just released seasons 1 through 8 all at the same exact time, people would just have gone missing for 3 weeks straight, just binge watching that the entire time. That's what I need in my life. No more of this staggered release. Just pull a Lord of the Rings where they record all 3 movies at the same damn time, and instead of releasing them staggered year over year, you release them all at the same damn time and just watch the world stop for a week. Just do it. I don't like waiting, man. It's also the worst thing too, is that one of the book series that I'm following is called oh god, The Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. Pretty good. There's a lot of filler in there. I mean, like, the most recent book was almost 1,300 pages long, if that gives you any idea. And it's the third. Is it the third? Yeah, it's the third book. Yeah, anyway, pretty damn good. There's some flaws with it. There's some issues that I have with it. But nonetheless, that they just recently released it, like, a week and a half ago now, I think. And I finished it in one day because I was on a road trip all the way down to San Diego. And that was a 9.5 hour drive. And I finished it in that 9.5 hour drive. So, been waiting for that book for like 3 months, finish it in one day, nice. But like, all the book series that I'm into right now are just sitting here waiting for those to come out. I need to stop getting into things before they're finished. That's all I gotta do. You know what the worst is? Dresden Files. I don't know if any of you guys have any interest in reading whatsoever, you should check out the Dresden Files. It's one of the best series I've ever read. The first book is pretty iffy because it was the first book he'd ever written, so, like, you know, he had some growing to do, he had some learning to do, but he definitely progresses, and he gets much better as time goes along, and, like, it really picks up in, you know, kind of like halfway through the second book, and then you hit the fifth, and it's kind of just like, this is really interesting, this is really fun, I really like this series, and then you hit the 5th book, and shit gets real, and it's like, okay, I'm into this now. But I think it's been like 2.5 years since the last book was released, and usually there's about 1.5 to 2 years between each book. So that's starting to hurt a little bit. Been waiting for that to come out. There's just so many series that I'm just waiting to continue to, you know, just dive into again, and they're just on hiatus for so long. It actually is really amusing to me because I just mentioned Game of Thrones, and now I'm talking about this book thing. How I think, didn't the entirety of the Game of Thrones TV show get produced? Not only, you know, get produced, get approved, get planned, get recorded, get actually shown on HBO before George R.R. Martin even released a single new I believe it's called, I can never remember if it's Song of Ice and Fire or if it's Song of Fire and Ice, but that's what the official book series is called. I can't remember if he released the last book like in between, like the TV show was 2 seasons in and then the book got released, or if the most recent book got released before the TV show even started, and they managed to go through the entire TV show without another book release. That's insane, man. And so they did. They had to take it their own. I think it was around season 5 when you start really noticing, like, oh, okay, this didn't happen in the books. They're starting to make this story their own, and they knew they were going to have to make the story their own because George R.R. Martin was not writing quickly enough to keep up. I still haven't said anything positive. Is there anything positive I can say? See, that's the other thing too, is like I'm trying to think of other games that I've played recently that I can just say one nice thing about. I played Fire Emblem Warriors. I hate it. I hate it for so many reasons. I'm not going to get into it because it would take me another 20 minutes. Played Super Mario Odyssey. I was really enjoying myself. And then I hit New Donktown. And something about that world just killed the game for me. Like, I have no interest in playing it after hitting that world. I was really enjoying myself prior to it. And then I hit that world and I was like, and now I'm just kind of like, I could play it. I could also not play it. One of the other games that I got into recently, my Discord finally convinced, not my Discord, like 2 people in my Discord were talking about League of Legends, and so I was like, you know what, let me just try, it's free to play, why not, just try it out. And I actually enjoyed it, but oh my god, the business side of it, not necessarily the business side of it, just the progression system inherent in the game without spending money, whoo, it's really difficult when you put a progression system like that inside the game itself to balance it properly for, you know, like to make it worth paying for, but to not make it so much of a grind that it drives people away. And I actually think they had that prior. They recently did this, I'm not going to go into the entire thing, but they recently did this huge change to a lot of systems, and one of them was the system in which you gain currency to purchase champions and stuff like that. And now it's just incredibly difficult to actually get the currency necessary. It's not, I shouldn't say it's not difficult. You just barely get any of the currency ever. And so if you're starting out on a brand new account and you're looking at like, oh, I want this champion, I want this champion, I want this champion, you're looking at like a week plus to get one of the cheaper characters. God forbid you want one of the most expensive ones. It's not looking good. And so I quit playing that because of that. Like, I did enjoy the game itself, and I think I could actually get pretty good at it. But, yeah, like, the actual... Yeah. That killed me. It mostly killed me just so I can just, finish this story off. I got a champion shot. So, basically, what you do, you get this currency called Blue Essence. And you use that blue essence to purchase heroes. So heroes go from anywhere from 450 blue essence all the way up to 6,300. And I think there's like 1,350, 3,100 maybe, or maybe it's 2,800, something around there, somewhere around like the 2,700 to 3,300 range, somewhere in there. And then I believe 4,800, maybe 4,850, something like that. And then you have the 6,300. And so obviously it's not that hard to unlock the heroes at the 450 tier. But it used to be that you got a certain amount of, it wasn't blue essence at the time, but just for the sake of argument, you got about 100 to 150 blue essence per game. So that means if you play 4 games, you can unlock one of the cheaper champions, right? It takes more as you progress, but you have a solid sense of progression. You kind of know where you're sitting, how much you're going to get per game. Now they made it so you no longer get blue essence per game, but every single time you level up your account, you get basically like a little loot chest. And in these loot chests, you can either just get blue essence straight up, or you can get shards of either like champions or skins, or actually I don't think skins are included in that. But you can get like champion shards and stuff like that, which you can either turn in to unlock the champion, or you can just dissolve them if you don't want that champion to get blue essence based on how much they're worth. Now the problem is, you still have to pay in order to unlock the champion if you get the shard. It's just a reduced cost. And it's not even that much either. I think it's you get like a 35% reduction on the cost. So you're still paying like 65% of the total cost. So anyway, I'm going through, I'm leveling up. I get this champion shard for a character called Leona, who, by all accounts, is one of the best supports in the game. I don't really have any good supports at the time. And, you know, inevitably, you're going to be stuck in every single role. So you want to have a good champion for each and every role. So I'm like, oh, this is godlike. I finally have, you know, a really good support. And so I look at it, and it's like, you need 2,880 blue essence to unlock this character. After, like, a week of playing, I shouldn't say a week, like 3 or 4 days of playing, of getting a few level ups and whatnot, on top of that champion shard that I now just got, I have about 1,400 blue essence. I don't even have half the required currency to unlock this character. And you get around 400 to 500 blue essence per level up. So I'm looking at 4 more level ups required just so I can even unlock this one champion shard. And along that way, I'm probably going to get more champion shards. Which I may not, you know, I may decide, you know, I want to keep this. I want to unlock this eventually. And so that's going to require even more level ups at that point to be able to unlock this character. And I just looked at that, and I looked in the future and was like, this is going to take me like 15 to 20 games played. Average time for a game is probably around the 20 to 25 minute mark, maybe even reaching up towards 30. Hell no. For one character, that much time investment just to unlock them? Hell no. Get me out. I'm tapping out. I'm done. If I want to play a MOBA, I'll play Dota. I'm out. So I can't say anything positive about that. I can't say something's positive. I got nothing, man. Games have been dumping on me lately. What's coming out soon that I can play? Nothing, actually. Nothing's coming out. Is there anything? I've been going on for so damn long. I'm trying to make up for the fact that I haven't uploaded a video in, like 2 weeks at this point? Just to see, like, is anything coming out soon? There are 3DS games that are coming out soon, because there's a bunch of Atlas re-releases that I'm looking forward to. I shouldn't say a bunch, there's 2. Radiant Historia and Strange Journey are being re-released, and improved as well. Looking forward to both of those. I love the hell out of both of those, but I don't know. Like, let me actually look at the PS4. Show me more. Okay, Okami HD, I'm down with that, but again, that's just another re-release. It's not actually a new game. Digimon Story, maybe? Ni no Kuni 2, I'm not entirely convinced by. I've heard middling things about it. But neither one of those are even coming out until the middle of January. There's really nothing that I'm truly looking forward to that's new until Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like, there's nothing for me. Whew, boy. You know what I can say positive? Positively. Whatever. How's English? I don't know. Never learned it properly. I can say something positive about y'all. Thank you very much. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate each and every one of you. The 3 of you that managed to make it down here to the depths of this 43-minute Nate Talks. Thank you. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. If you want to ask me something, you heard this. Ask, and it shall be answered. That's my gift to you. Like, I wouldn't answer questions anyway. But still, that's my gift to you. If you have anything to ask away. Thank you. Oh boy. Have a wonderful day. I'm gonna go stare at the rain.